Came back, though, has looked strong.
He's never run this far, so there's still a question mark, but he's talented.
Which could be the reason why he is not currently the favorite. The morning line favorite now is the Coast second choice. Your favorite is, Randy, the 7 in Tapan Street.
Yeah, look, I'll be very surprised if Disco Time is not the favorite when we go to post, but that doesn't mean Tapan Street is not a legitimately really good horse, and he's the answer to a trivia question. Who was the last horse to beat Horse of the Year Sovereignty?
I got to guess.
You got to guess? What is it?
Yeah, Tapan Street.
You're right.
Okay, good.
You're right. Tapan Street for 1,000. And that was in the Florida Derby last year here at Gulfstream Park, and it was a legitimate victory. Now, maybe Sovereignty wasn't at his absolute best. He peaked at the Kentucky Derby, but look, Tapan Street is the type of horse that never really wows you visually. He's kind of a grinder. He doesn't have a lot of acceleration, but according to Cox, his last workout was one of the best he's ever had. He worked with another horse in the barn called Saudi Crown, who's a tested stakes horse, and really worked well against him. So Cox thinks that this horse, Tapan Street, is going to take a big step forward now into this race.
Could be a repeat of what we saw just with the turf. Same trainer, 1-2. Who knows? You got Brad Cox with Tapan Street, and Disco Time earlier caught up with Nick Luck.
Disco Time and Tapan Street, two such exciting horses trained by the same man, Brad Cox, who's with me now with son Brody. How would you compare them, Brad?
Well, Disco's probably definitely be close, if not on the lead. I think Tapan Street will probably track the first flight, and you know, I think you got to get a good trip. I mean, it's a Grade 1 race. You know, you got to break running and get a good forward position and turn for home and be right there.
Those are the tactics. What about their relative merits, talent relative to one another?
I mean, look, Tapan's already showed up and proved he's a Grade 1 winner, right? He beat Sovereignty last year. Disco Time, I think he's a Grade 1 talent. He's a very good horse. I thought his race in the Dwyer last time out at Aqueduct was, you know, just jaw dropping, and hopefully we can get another good run out of him.
You've got Flavien Prat on Disco Time for the first time. Do you think that'll improve him yet further?
I mean, look, I'm not certain. I mean, you know, Flavien's world-class rider, Eclipse Award winner. I think we're in good hands. Once again, I think it's important to break running and be close, if not on the lead, and would let him determine, you know, where he wants to be going into the first turn.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jerry?
So these are both 3-year-olds turning 4. They're now 4 years old. Mark Wahlberg right there.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
Wow, well, look at that.
We just saw a horse on the grass, Test Score, a 3-year-old turning 4, and he was able to pull off the deal. Can Disco Time and Tapan Street do the same thing as a 4-year-old as they did as a 3-year-old?
And in Tapan Street's last race, in his defense, he was coming off a very long layoff, right? He had a leg injury that was serious enough for a long layoff, not serious enough for retirement, but he did have surgery. So it took a while to get him back to the races. He wasn't quite 100% first time out, and that's why Cox thinks one reason why he thinks he's going to take a big step forward today.
And I want to take you behind the curtain just for a second, because one of the owners of Tapan Street came by, gave Randy a pin because he said, you set the narrative straight. It's not Tappan Street, it is Tapan Street. So Randy is to thank for that, for the correct pronunciation of this horse. I'm hearing in my ear, we got Brittany Urton down on the track. Brittany, what do you got?
That we do as the horses make their way out. This owner, report of White Barrio. Of course, we've got C2 Racing and Gary Barber. So everyone loves this horse. He's obviously the defending champion, but the last time that we saw him on the track, he was scratched. So what can you tell us about how prepared he is for that title defense?
I can tell you he's ready to go. He loves this course. You know, he's for 10 on this course, and I think we might see something today.
That's a big statement. Gary, you know something about special performances. You bought into this horse after the Pegasus World Cup. What attracted you so much to this white beauty?
If you just look at the horse, amazing looking horse, and his record is unbelievable. And he just wants to race, and he's run 24 times, never had a problem, and won a lot of good races. So it's an obviously easy call.
It has been a roller coaster of emotions, no doubt, with this horse. You said to me this is not his last race, but it's his last race at Gulfstream Park. What did it mean for him to go out of here a win?
You know, I think it'll mean a lot for the ownership, the barn, Saffy, and his entire, all the fans that love him here. I mean, that's such a big following. I mean, we're excited to see what.
Best of luck.
Nice to see you.
All right, so the defending winner of this race, White Barrio, as they mentioned, has won some huge races, the Classic being one of them, but we have not seen him in a while.
That's the biggest question mark. He was scratched. He had a tough trip at Saratoga. That was the weirdest race in the world. A horse a rider got knocked off his horse right next to him. That rider ended up on the back of White Barrio, and then he was scratched in the Breeders' Cup dirt mile at the gate. Then he was supposed to run in a prep race here at Gulfstream. He was scratched from the program in that one. So it's been a while since he's run, and that's the biggest question mark to me, is why was he scratched, and can he be as fit as he needs to be with that long of a layoff?
He's got a history of some minor foot issues that Safi Joseph and before that Rick Dutrow have to try to navigate to get him back to 100% with the right shoeing and things like that. But man, when White Abarrio was at his best, he is really special. And we talked about it last year right here. Which White Abarrio are we going to see?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the big question. And we saw the same White Abarrio that won the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he is a nice-looking horse.
Even in a crowd, easy to spot White Abarrio. All right, time now for Riders Up. For that, we send it back to track announcer Pete Aiello.
For Riders Up. He's played some of the toughest, most unforgettable characters the movie world has ever seen. From Lone Survivor to The Fighter to The Departed. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Academy Award nominee, global movie star, producer, and entrepreneur, the hardest working actor in show business, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Wahlberg.
Racing fans, the moment we've all been waiting for, the 10th running of the Pegasus World Cup. To sports fans all around the world, and to my Patriots Nation, we're all we got. We're all we need. Riders Up!
Oh, well done. A little plug for the Pats, too.
As if we didn't know who he'd be pulling for tomorrow, right?
Exactly. Well done. Well, I'm pumped, and he took half my job there. That was the tease of what's coming up. All right, Riders are up now. We got to take a break. When we come back, the horses hit the track. We'll go through the entire field. It is the post parade for the $3 million Pegasus World Cup. There's Safi Joseph, White Abarrio in the field with him, Skippy Longstocking. Who will it be in the $3 million race?
My mom is a veteran, and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I'm doing much better now. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
Through thick and thin, DAV's been there for me and my family.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned.
My victory is getting my life back.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
City of Light will win it. It's City of Light for Javier Castellano and a romp in the rain. He won by 5.
Yeah, City of Light ending his career with a dominating performance in the 2019 Pegasus in the slot. Javier Castellano aboard from Michael McCarthy. Now, City of Light having a great career as a stallion, too, having sired 2024 Florida Derby winner Fierceness, the subject of our Coolmore Stallion Spotlight. Won the Florida Derby by a record 13.5 lengths. Fierceness went on to win the Traverse that year as well. That is our Stallion Spotlight, thanks to Coolmore. Horses in the paddock. There you see Safi Joseph. You heard the owner say it, too. Not the last race for White Abarrio, but the last race at Gulfstream Park, apparently.
Well, there's no other major races that he would want to run in, down the line. So I guess this is his last year.
Definitely the preparation for White Abarrio has not been as good and as consistent as it was last year.
Well, that's the question.
And that's the question. That's the big question. And you can tell, you can get vibes from trainers. We see them all the time. And you kind of get a vibe from Safi Joseph that he might not be as confident this year as he was going into last year's Pegasus World Cup. But still, the horse has got a great pedigree.
And we talked to other trainers that watch these horses train, and that's the kind of the vibe on the backside that he's probably not what he once was.
Part of it could be the post position as well, too, because the outside post in this went 9 through 12 in the history of the Pegasus, the 9 races previously. 1 for 30 at the Pegasus. The only winner in one of those outside posts was the gun runner. Oh, Who do you guess, Jerry?
Gun runner.
You're right. Would you have got it if I didn't give it to you?
Yes, it was in the notes.
He said it in his, oh, it was in the notes. That's where I got it too. All right, we all read the notes. Okay. Well done. So you heard the bugler. We are just about to hit the track here with a full field. Did have one scratch, so and also eligible. Did get into the field. We'll give you that full rundown of 12 horses here in just a second. It is the 10th running of the $3 million Pegasus World Cup. Time for the post parade, and that post parade is brought to you by My Racehorse. So the full field for the Pegasus looks just like this. As always, begin up top with the 1. And that was a horse we thought would be the favorite, and Randy says maybe it's still time for that to happen. The 1 is Disco Time. He's won his last 2 races by more than a combined 15 lengths. Undefeated, but he's making his first start in a Grade 1 race. He's got a new jockey in Flavien Prat riding him for the first time. We're hoping the horses take a little U-turn, turn the other way, and then we can continue the post parade, but they look intent on continuing in the direction that they are going.
Right now, Ahmed is like a jockey who's raiding.
Stuck behind horses, all dressed up with no place to go.
Looking for an opening.
Waiting for a seam.
Well, here's the good news. You can see them all right there, and so you can examine which horse you like the best. You can't necessarily see all the numbers, so I believe we're going to continue in this direction. So I've given you the 1 here in Disco Time.
And he looks good.
Yeah, he's perky. He's just perky enough to show that he's got his attention, but not nervous.
He's got a little prance to him there. That's what you want to see.
And what do we think about the surfaces here? Because I mentioned it. The turf dried out a little bit. Oh, here we go. So hold that thought. There's the 1. There's the what we thought would be the favorite. 2-1 right now. Now a co-favorite in Disco Time. And so that new jockey, Flavien Prat. British Isles, the 2 long shot in the race. Does have 3 wins in his career. They've all come on turf, though. Still looking for his first win on dirt, Randy.
The 3 is the speedy Full Serrano, the winner of the 2024 Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Trainer John Sadler said this year he wanted to stretch the horse out. He said the horse is not just a miler. And here he is now at a 1 1/8 at odds of 8-1. The 4 is Banishing, trying to become the first Pegasus World Cup winner, coming off a 6-furlong race. In his case, back-to-back 6-furlong races.
Number 5 is Skippy Longstocking. This is the 4th Pegasus for Skippy. This horse is running 3rd last year. He can be all or nothing. Never know what you're going to get. There is Skippy. And number 6, Matticat Road, is scratched.
We got Tapan Street, trained by Brad Cox, won the race in 2021. Tapan Street won the Florida Derby last year over eventual Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty. Poster, versatile. He's made 3 career starts on turf, 3 on dirt, 1 on synthetic. His trainer, Owen Hardy, says the horse doesn't seem to care, can race on any surface.
Good. Captain Cook is still in line. He's the number 9. Vinny Viola, St. Elias stable, the owner, Todd Pletcher, the trainer. He's stretching out from sprints, 3 7-furlong races in a row, but he's very fast. Mika could be right there with Full Serrano, setting the pace. He went wire to wire in 2 of his last 3 and almost went wire to wire last time.
And there's your number 11, the aptly named Wide Abario. It's all about the first turn for him. If he's physically right, he needs to be no more than 3 wide in that first turn to have a good chance to win. Number 12 is Brother Kenny. He won the Zia Park Derby in New Mexico in his last race on Thanksgiving weekend, but this is a huge jump up in class for him. And again, a difficult post. And if you want a more difficult post, let's go to number 13, Lightning Tones. He never won a graded stakes, and he's never run this far, but he has run all of his races on Gulfstream Park surface, so he likes the track.
33 career starts, all right here at Gulfstream Park. Nick and Britt, what do you think?
Well, it might not be about what we think, Ahmed. It might be what this man thinks. Griffin Johnson has made such an impression on this sport since he became a minority owner in Sandman. You've now got 4 horses in training. It's bitten you, this bug.
It's fully bitten me, yeah. I mean, Sandman gave me the best experience ever, and I figured, well, might as well try to double down and keep chasing the dream.
So we wanted a little handicapping help, didn't we, Britt?
Yeah, how are you in terms of handicapping? This I have not asked you.
Okay, listen, take it easy on me. I'm still green, okay, but I am working into it, and I feel like I have a decent knowledge. I'll give a 4 out of 10.
Okay, well, neither of us actually won in the last race, so.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go first. I'm going to go Skippy Longstocking. 4th time as a charm. He ran great last year. Nick, what about you?
Shot. Tapan Street, think he'll get the perfect trip. Be pushed along from a long way out, but it'll keep finding. Griffin?
You know, I'm going to sound cliche, but I will say Tapan Street as well. I saw he had the odds here, but he's been training
well.
Woman out. He's the only horse to beat Sovereignty, who was the horse of the year, and it's a fast track today. I think he's going to get a good trip.
All right. We'll see.
Make that an 8 out of 10.
There we go, Tapan Street. 4 career starts, all have come right here in South Florida. 3 wins, 1 second. Can he do it again? Live racing, the signature race is next.
Think horse racing is too complicated? Think again.
And they're off.
Every pro was a newbie once. Meet DRF Newbie, the mobile tool loaded with daily racing form data and the power of DRF AI. Get the insights you need fast so you can play smarter and feel more confident. DRF Newbie, horse racing made simple. Try it free today. Visit newbie.drf.com.
This is Fresh Pet. Here, there are no fillers, no spray-on flavors, no compromises. Just vet-developed recipes packed with fresh meat and healthy veggies. Because real fresh food belongs in everybody's bowl.
A man who works hard sweats hard. Old Spice rider fights sweat, so coach thought I was slacking. So I trained with my Old Spice, and I became the best player ever. Sometimes, a man must overcompensate.
My Racehorse has opened up a door for people that felt like that door would have never been opened for them.
We can all be owners and we can all get that excitement.
You can meet your horse through the different experiences and all of the events that My Racehorse puts together. You get that hands-on connection.
Whether you have $50 or $500, everyone that joins My Racehorse gets that experience of a lifetime.
I love My Racehorse. Let's go.
Rob trusts Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
I'm Rob. I run a sanctuary for tigers in Southern California. I've been working with tigers for over 30 years. I found that I was taking various supplements for my physical health. I wanted to take something for my brain as well. After taking Prevagen, I felt more confident. I felt more in the moment. I stopped taking Prevagen for a while, and I noticed a difference. I got right back on it. Prevagen really works.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
Here in the South Florida sunshine, they know how to entertain. The atmosphere is unmistakable, and the vibe is universal. Now it's time for the real party animals to turn things up. The guest list is packed with big names. None bigger than the decorated defending champion.
The tour de force of Pegasus World Cup, White Abaria.
But down on this dance floor, everybody wants to be the life of the party. A loaded field is getting set to light up this South Florida soiree. They are headed to the gate, and this one about to be in the hands of history. Get ready for a ripper. The 10th running of the Pegasus World Cup Invitational is just moments away. It is Pegasus 10, a decade of multi-million-dollar races from South Florida. Some of the best horses in the world, some of the most famous people around the track as well. And for the first time ever, the Pegasus is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's $150,000 in entry fees paid by the Breeders' Cup, a $10,000 travel allowance for horses stabled outside of Kentucky. A huge benefit to the connections of the winner of this race, not to mention your portion of the $3 million purse. And so we'll see this horse, hopefully, that wins this race at Keeneland in the fall, October 31st, for the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic, the $7 million race. Now the question we have to answer, guys, Jerry and Randy, who's that going to be? We've talked about a lot of the favorites so far, and so we'll get to White Abario again, Disco Time, Tapan Street. But let's focus in on the number 3 for a second. That's Full Serrano. That is a winner of a Breeders' Cup race back in the day.
A very talented horse. Full Serrano has run some excellent races on the front end. He's also run just slightly off the pace before. But what's interesting here tactically, I think he's probably, my best guess is he's probably going to be on the early lead along with Mika to his outside. Captain Cook has speed. So does Disco Time from post 1. If Disco Time gets a really quick break out of the gate, it's going to be interesting to see what Flavien Prat chooses to do there. But anyway, you can expect Full Serrano to be up close, and he has shown. He was second in the Pacific Classic at 1.25 miles. He doesn't have to go just a mile to be very effective.
Made 14 career starts in Argentina, now making a name for himself in America. There is the 10 in Mika, Jerry.
Comes off 2 wins in his last 3 starts. It was the 2nd place finish in his last start that was so impressive. Had the lead all the way until the last couple of jumps up in New York. he and Full Serrano can take the lead, but both horses would rather be there comfortably without pressure, and I think they're going to pressure each other. I think it's going to set a pretty hot pace, and I think Captain Cook can sit behind, and Disco Time will sit right behind those. I think those, as Randy said, are your top two pace setters, but they're going to cook each other into submission.
Our DRF formulator fact zeroing in on the 4 and Banishing, Randy.
Yeah, Godolphin may be the perennial champion breeder and owner, but even Godolphin makes mistakes sometimes. They bailed on Banishing and sold him in July of 2024 at auction for $80,000. The new owner of this horse, Banishing, since purchasing him, Larry Roman, for $80,000, this horse has earned $1.6 million.
So taking a look at the short run into the turn, how this race is run here at Gulfstream Park.
That's why we've been mentioning the outside post is so difficult, because there isn't very much room. It's, what'd you say, 100 yards, Randy?
About 110, about a 16th of a mile.
So on the outside, you'd have to clear the other horses to get over. You use a lot of energy doing that. So you take your chances and maybe ease back, but then you run the risk of being 4 or 5 wide in the first turn.
Yeah.
Randy, you were right. Disco Time, currently the favorite now, was the co-second choice, 9-5. Well, what do you mean? He shrugged at me like it's no big deal. Like, I want to give you credit when you're right, 9-5 the favorite.
And he'll probably go off lower than 9-5. The rail post is a big advantage,
it is,
I think, for Disco Time, because of what Jerry just said. The short run into the first turn. You quoted, post 9 through 12 as having such a poor win percentage. Well, Disco Time is going to pretty much be guaranteed, I think, a ground-saving trip, whether he's stalking just a little bit off the pace or whether he's on the lead.
And his rider, Flavien Prat, who is the best in the world, will look out, and once they break, and he'll say, okay, where is the speed coming from? How much is there? Do I want to run up in there? Do I want to ease back? One thing I will tell you he'll do, he'll let Disco Time run enough to hold his spot and force the outside horses to use some gas to clear him and get over.
Keep an eye when they hit the second turn, Ahmed, on Tappan Street, the second choice right now. He is the type of horse that typically needs to be ridden pretty aggressively to get going. They may be riding him and almost really asking him to run as soon as he hits the second turn.
It's almost like a bicycle. He'll look like he's pedaling the entire way, and that's the way he likes to be ridden.
But he just keeps coming, keeps grinding, keeps coming.
There's Mika loading the 10, the 5. Skippy Longstocking won a 2 from trainer Safi Joseph, along with the defending winner. And there he is, the 11 in White Abarrio, last time at Gulfstream Park, his home track. He has won 8 of 10 starts at this track. This really is home field advantage. The $3 million Pegasus World Cup, a decade of races, the 10th running. Let's get it back up to Pete Aiello with the call of the race.
This is the 10th running of the Pegasus World Cup. They're in the gate. And Pegasus X is underway. Good start. Toward the inside, Disco Time is fleet of foot off the mark and tries to lead the field early from Full Serrano, who's offensive-minded in between horses. British Isles getting started wide on the course, and Captain Cook way out wide is Mika. Tappan Street is mid-flight. He's racing together with White Abarrio. They're a length in front of Skippy Longstocking. 2.5 more to Banishing third last. Poster is second last. At the back of the field is Brother Kenny as they chase the speed of Disco Time. Disco Time and Flavien Prat to the backstretch to a 22-1 opening quarter. That's a solid tempo with Full Serrano chasing from second. Captain Cook is on the outside in third. British Isles fourth at the rail. Mika is now fifth. White Abarrio is racing in sixth and angles to the clear. 2 back to Tappan Street. Then it's Banishing. Skippy Longstocking is at the rail. Poster is next. The 2 at the back are Lightning Tones and Brother Kenny to the opening half mile in 46 seconds flat. They go to the half mile point, and Disco Time has a wall of pursuers. Into the clear went White Abarrio to go on a 4-wide bid. Full Serrano's in the 2-path. Captain Cook is 3 wide. Then it's back to Mika. Pink colors 5 lengths off the lead. Banishing's on his outside. Tappan Street will have to do a lot better than that. He's engaged for his spot by Skippy Longstocking, who's between horses. Poster calls it a day as they round the far turn. White Abarrio makes his move now, and he's up to confront Disco Time, who's toward the rail. They pass the quarter-mile mark, and on the outside, White Abarrio has taken the lead. In between horses, Full Serrano tries to go with him. Disco Time puts up the white flag, and they're off the turn. They're in the stretch drive, and White Abarrio has the lead with 1/8 of a mile to get. Skippy's coming now! Here comes Skippy Longstocking running at his stablemate. Skippy Longstocking rolling down win. It's Skippy Longstocking and local boy Tyler Gaffleon for the money. White Barrio completes the Safi Joseph Jr. exacta. Third is Full Sereno in 148.2.
It looked like White Barrio may go back-to-back, but instead it's Safi Joseph going 1-2, Skippy Longstock.
Like we saw on the Pegasus turf with Graham Motion running 1-2. In this race, trainer Safi Joseph Jr. runs 1-2. Skippy Longstocking's number 4 was the magic number. 4 times he's tried this race, and he finally gets there. Jockey Tyler Gaffleon has ridden every Pegasus since its inception. He finally gets his win.
The first 4-time starter in Pegasus World Cup history. He's run last in this race. He's run 7th in this race. Last year he finished 3rd in this race, a distant 3rd. And here he is running down White Barrio. I think honestly what got White Barrio is no races since last August.
And a post. 4 wide on each turn basically.
He didn't have the best trip in terms of ground saving, ground loss. Made the lead at the quarter pole like he was just going to go on like he did last year, but he just came up a little bit short the last 1/8 of a mile. And what better storyline to pick up the pieces than the 7-year-old Skippy Longstocking getting his very first Grade 1 win that they've wanted so badly for this horse.
And Disco Time, acting up in the gate before the start. He didn't get away real well. Flavian Prada's jockey had to send him up into the first turn. He got it aggressive. He went too fast, unrelaxed, and he faded in the stretch.
Very fast early pace.
Nice pick by Brittany Urton, by the way, at 21 odds. Yeah, we got to give Brittany a little shout out there. She was denigrating her handicapping. But look
and she was in the trailer. She goes, I was going to take White Barrio, but I think I'm going to go Skippy Longstock.
She could have had the exacta.
She got the exacta.
And there's a proud guy right there in Safi Joseph. He's known for being really emotional after he wins some of these big races. So.
You can see he's tearing up.
Yeah. He really wears his emotions on his sleeve, and it means so much to him to be able to come out with these horses and watch them perform as well as these two just did.
Surprised me that White Barrio ran as well as he did for being off as long as he was.
He looked great. Safi Joseph, all of his horses mean a whole lot to him, but especially these two.
Look at, he's going right to White Barrio, even though he didn't win.
It's possible this could be, I don't think it's going to be White Barrio's last race, but there has been some conjecture that it could conceivably be his last race, but we'll see. He ran a heck of a race in defeat today.
Yeah, sure to be emotional in the winner's circle. Safi Joseph will be there. Skippy Longstocking as well. You finally got your win at the Pegasus.
I said I'd never join.
Thought living on sub would be too hard. I figured only the weatherman tracks storms.
I said my job wouldn't matter.
I couldn't even swim.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
Tomorrow, 2 heavyweight clubs prepare for impact.
Them or us.
Arsenal.
Drawing Arsenal campaign.
Man United.
Quite sensational.
Live exclusively on Peacock.
This is where we go.
NBC's coverage of the Pegasus World Cup is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com. Yeah, look at the previous winners of the Pegasus World Cup through the years. Nick Go in 2021 before he became Horse of the Year later that year. White Barrio just finished 2nd in 2026. His stablemate Skippy Longstocking in this race for the 4th time. As Randy mentioned, a 7th place finish, a last, a 3rd, and now ahead of everyone else. Aboard Tyler Gaffleon from nearby Davie, Florida. Only jockey who has been in this race every single time, all 10 now, did not have a win until now.
Skippy's owned by Daniel Alonso. He ran in the prep for this, the Harlan's Holiday, and he won it, even though before the race, Safi Joseph said this horse is not going to be 100% ready. He's not going to be 100% fit. He spotted weight to the field. He got trapped behind horses for part of the race coming to the top of the stretch. He still wins anyway, and boy, did he ever move forward today off of that race.
He did, and Safi Joseph, his trainer, said Skippy really does not prefer warm weather. He would rather run when it's cooler outside. bandwagon. Today was hot and humid, so maybe Skippy's turned the corner in more than one way.
Although it's been 70 degrees sometimes, and Jerry said it's kind of cold. If there's a little bit of a wind, so maybe this was just windy enough for Skippy Longstreet.
He's best known for winning the Charlestown Classic in West Virginia back-to-back years. He won the Hollywood Gold Cup at Santa Anita about a year ago, last May 25. He's been all over the country, and he's still going strong at age 7.
So he's going to go over $5 million in earnings now. So, yeah, very good career.
Purchased for $37,000 in 2021, has earned now, coming into this race, over 3.7. So even more as you take a look at the first bet payouts. 21-1, the longest long shot, the biggest long shot ever to win this race. The previous was 15-1.
If Brittany had the try or the super, she's buying dinner.
We got to ask. I think she's doing that either way.
Okay.
So she better hope she got the try to get that. White Abarrio second, you saw there. So Safi Joseph going 1-2. They're trying to get the connections all together in the winner's circle right here. And Safi Joseph, you know, it's like he's won races all around, but here, Gulfstream Park, this is a staple of the cultural scene in Miami. The owner, Daniel Alonso, is a Miami native, and so a lot of connections here in that winner's circle. Brittany.
Hey, I can see the emotion flowing here. Winning trainer and runner-up, Safi Joseph Jr. Can you just describe what you're feeling right now?
Just relief. White Abarrio was a lot of pressure, obviously, from the scratch in the Breeders' Cup. You just want to make sure everything's good, and I know Skippy wins, and he deserves it. He deserves it, but I'm just proud of White Abarrio. He ran, and they came back good, and I've never felt this much pressure in my life, honestly, with a horse. And I wasn't even thinking of winning. I knew Skippy was doing good, but I just wanted Abarrio to run and show up. That's all I wanted, and he did even more than that. Like, I probably got him beat because I just had to make sure everything was right, and what a horse he is. And take nothing from Skippy. As I said, this is his day to deliver, and he showed all the signs. And these two horses, they're 7 years old. The owners, they've been up and downs, both horses, and they've ride the course. When they needed to break, they gave them a break. When they needed to go, they gave them a go. And all glory to God. I just want to know, like, I prayed so much this week that I want everybody to know, like, there's nothing better than finding peace in God, and that's the only thing that got me through this.
A big congratulations to you. I hope that turns to truth.
Thank you very much.
Ahmed.
All right, yeah, if there was any doubt, the connection that these trainers, jockeys, everyone who works with these have with the horses, there it is.
You know, I'm always referring to, obviously, at the Breeders' Cup, he was going to be one of the favorites for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and when they were on the track, he was scratched by a veterinarian. They disagreed with it vehemently. They threatened legal action. The owners, this is his first start, you know, since then. He hasn't run since August in that ill-fated Jockey Club Gold Cup. So a lot of pressure was on Safi Joseph to make sure that he was 100% here.
Yeah, and like I said, he entered in the prep race for this, the Mr. Prospector, the one he used last year to win, and he scratched that day. So valid concerns about his health, but Safi did a great job. I thought tremendous job getting this horse ready off that kind of layoff.
People were saying the veterinarians might scratch him before this race. We didn't know what to expect when we got up this morning if we were going to see White Abarrio, and he ran well. But all hail to Skippy today.
And all hail to the 7-year-olds. They're all 7 who won this. All hail to the old horses, right? Today was a day for them. All right, special thanks to Equibase, the Thoroughbred Industry's official database for racing information and statistics. The first racing tour continues next week with the Holy Bull Stakes live on Peacock at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. For our entire NBC Sports team, I'm Ahmed Fareed saying so long from Gulfstream Park. This was a great day of racing and music and celebrities. Pegasus number 10 in the books. Sign us up for Pegasus number 11.
Ciao ragazzi, ci vediamo dopo, ok? Baci. Milan, such a cool place.